Hello everyone, my name is Matthew Valenzuela and today I will be telling you about my experiences in my first semester of college. This is for my college studies technique final. Today's date is 12/15/2020 and it is currently 3:16 p.m. So in the first few weeks, in the beginning of the semester, I was motivated and curious about how the college semester would be. By the time I knew I was going to go to SJCC, this was before the pandemic had started, so I was still hopeful that I was going to get a different experience than what I got to in high school. I wondered who I would make friends with and what classes I would take and what classes I would like. And most importantly, I made sure I did all my work on time and created time for me to kick back and relax and not really have to worry about the schoolwork I did in the day. But in the beginning, it was the easiest, and after that, it just got harder. Beginning of the drop off. As time went on, I had my days of working really hard, and then my days where I just did no work and I was not productive. Usually, Fridays and Mondays were the days I worked the least, and every other day, even in weekends, I was working hard. I didn't really allow myself to slack off, but I also didn't overwork myself either. I kept a somewhat of a good balance between work and relaxing, despite being home 24/7. But the more work that I did, the less I felt like I was going anywhere, and I began to notice that eventually I just couldn't do any of my homework for my elective classes. I wasn't getting any of the materials, and we were still getting homework assigned to us, but it was based off the materials that we did not have. So we emailed him, and nothing. Radio silence. But moving forward, big trouble in Little Mexico. Despite my work ethic and my high output, I was not performing well in my street law class. It was dragging me back and holding me down a lot. I couldn't really focus on my other work because I was just so worried about this class and me not really being able to do much. So I reached out to him and nothing really worked. He didn't reply. He didn't give me a time of when we could meet, and I really only saw him once. But yeah, at this time, this was like mid-September, early November. I wasn't really confident in my work. I felt like I was being lazy and I wasn't getting anywhere just because of this one class. So I eventually started working on the assignments I could work on, and that's what I was doing for the most part, but I didn't really have any motivation in, so I just decided to give up. Eventually I reached out to my peers. I created a discussion in Canvas, and I just wanted to see where the class was at, who would respond. I was surprised that I even got responses from so many people, but yeah, I try to work it out with them. We try to figure something out, and our conclusion was that we just don't have the materials. So I can't speak for other students, but not having materials for the class that you chose kind of bums you out a lot, puts you down. So I decided to give up. And yeah, it's so easy to neglect work for a certain class or a certain subject, but it's still in the back of your head, like you have just like this guilty conscience, and it's something you can live with because it's not that big of a deal. It's not something that affects anybody but you, but it eats at you, and it doesn't aid with all the other stuff that you have to work for and work with. So yeah, I knew that I had a lot of free time, and I just began to play video games more and more. I built a PC and just started playing more video games, and I also did work, or not did, but I still do work on the PC. But yeah, for the most part at the beginning, I was mainly playing video games and not really caring about homework a whole lot. And then it switched up again. I went back to caring about school and trying again. But yeah, for a little bit, I was kind of just out of it. The rise. As December came around, I knew that I was running out of time. I needed to do something. I needed a plan. But I didn't have him yet. So what I did was just wait. I still continued to neglect my elective. I neglected the work, and it kind of just piled up. But everything else was just fine. Nothing was out of the ordinary. I was still doing pretty decent in school, except for my elective. But now it's like the last week of the semester, and I realize that I have to like at least have some grade and show like I tried, just so like I have peace of mind and I can say like, you know what, I tried, I gave it my best, and it just didn't work out. But that's not how it went down. I decided to work a lot today, and I decided to catch up. I didn't want to, and I knew that going to bed last night, I'd have to work the whole day to be on track and be on time, and that's what I did. At first, I was just like, yeah, no, I'm not going to be able to do all this work, but I put my mind to it, and I got over this idea of like hopelessness. Because that's what it was. It's just an idea. I think that I'm hopeless, and I think that I have like all this negative energy, but in time and with a little effort, I was able to get past this, I guess you could say, obstacle that I created for myself. But it wasn't solely me who created it. It was a multi-party effort, and I just did what I could, and hopefully my effort is enough to where it doesn't look bad on my transcription. But yes, I tried, and just hoping for the best. Aftermath. After I finished 14 assignments in about a 2-hour span, I felt confident that I was gonna get an okay grade, or at least a passing grade. But I don't know, I can't tell. There's no indication for me to like know that I'll be able to pass. So I did what I could, and I have to live with that decision. I could have just not done any assignments and completely failed the class, but I couldn't allow myself to do that. So some people would say that some people would see crunching a whole semester into 2 hours is an achievement. I don't think it is. It's a failure. And I say it's a failure because I allowed myself to take the easy way out, and to be lazy, and to neglect, and to just kind of move past that. It's a challenge, mostly because you don't think you can do one thing or the other. But yet when you do something, and you do that thing that you doubted yourself that you couldn't do, you get this sense of achievement. And yeah, when I finished those 14 assignments today, I felt some achievement, but I also thought to myself, like, it didn't need to happen this way. I could have just as easily done those assignments whenever I needed to do them and not have to worry about it. But at 1 o'clock in the morning today, I got all my materials for that class. So I decided that I needed to pretty much work my tail off today, just to catch up, and just to like have a peace of mind that I didn't go down just being lazy and not doing anything. I went down trying to do my work and do my best. But this is the end of my final presentation. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for sitting through this.